Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today it's going to be a match between Jaedong and Deer here on Aztec 1.1. Left side of the map, it is the Teal Protoss player Deer, and on the right side of the map, it is the Green Zerg player Jaedong. Haven't cast a Jaedong game in a while, I figured. So let's go ahead and do this thing. Actually, did I lie to you? Have I cast Flash versus Jaedong recently? Oh, suppose I totally have, but no ZVPs with Jaedong in a bit, which, boy, do I have a lot of those. I have a ton of those. For some reason, somebody posted a replay pack of Jaedong versus his Protoss opponents from when he was on Team Hwaswing No Z. I don't know, man. I don't know how to read Korean at all. But yeah, it's all teammates of his. The Perfect Man versus Jaedong games, which, by the way, are incredible. Like, if you haven't watched Perfect Man versus Jaedong, you totally should, because holy crap. Perfect Man is good at StarCraft. Then you should. But anyway, yeah, this is from that same thing. And it's all Protoss. I got this huge pack of Jaedong replays, and I was like, ooh, great. But every single one of them is ZVP. And I was like, look, man, I love ZVP. It's my favorite matchup. But by golly, as the pool goes down here for Jaedong, 9 pool there. Overlord pops, drones on the way. But by golly, Miss Molly, I wish they had more ZVTs. And I guess I do have the Flash versus Jaedongs, which are probably the best ZVTs of all time, which I enjoy. I really like casting those. I'm sure you love them too, but I kind of see how Jaedong plays against people that aren't Flash. You know what I mean? So, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out at some point. I guess I have found a couple other than just Flash, but is he going? That's a Forge. Yes, that's got to be a Forge. It is. Forge expand here out of Deer. Deer, pretty fantastic Protoss player in his own right. Really should give Jaedong all it can handle here. And again, just because this is Jaedong versus a player that you've never maybe heard of before, or maybe you have, doesn't mean that Jaedong is going to win. Drone wins that fight, man. It's time to expand. The probe's away. Don't try to kill him. And ugh. Probe really tried to block it again with like 4 HP. Brave probe in the hands of Deer here. Actually, I'm going to look up Deer's Wikipedia page. He's a Korean Protoss. And he doesn't have much of a page, honestly. So he is 25 now, which means he was pretty young. Holy smokes, he started in 2010 and he's 25 now? So like he was like 16. Fair enough, man. He's young. He's young whenever this is played. Guess what's coming across the map though? A bunch of lings! Which means the probes have to hold the line, which means the cannon has to get stuff done, which is this cannon finishes. It'd be really nice for Deer if the second cannon finished like now, but it's not going to because it has another couple seconds. But here come the probes, and trying to go for that run by. Yeah! 3 lings make it in. After all that, 3 lings make it inside. 3 lings is much easier to deal with for Jaedong than 2 or 1. So he's happy about that. He can actually force a bunch of lost mining time for these probes because they can't. They have to come off to try to save their Nexus. They have to come off to try to save other friends that are getting sniped out by these 3 Zerglings. Oh, this is good. This is really good for Jaedong. This is a great opening. If you can send 6 lings at your opponent early on against your Protoss and get 3 lings into their main, you're going to have a good time. Look at this. Look how much lost mining time there is for Deer because he has to deal with these lings because they suck so much. Man, he doesn't have a Cyber Core yet. He can make some Zealots, which does make the lings have to pay a little bit more attention, but this is Jaedong here. This is Jaedong we're talking about. He's not going to lose these to Zealots. Not going to happen. Is he sending more lings? Why would he send more lings across? There's 2 cannons now. Maybe he's worried about a Zealot coming for the counterattack. I don't know what these lings are doing, to be honest with you. Probe down. Lings totally happy with themselves right now. Zealot shows up, and these 3 lings can't kill him. Oh, another probe down. Another probe down. Jaedong, your control is mind-boggling. Oh, he lost a ling to a Zealot. Remember how I was like, that'll never ever happen, durr. Yep, that's Falcon for you. That's your guy. Always saying things wrong. Okay, so in that case, yes, 2 lings, not as good as 3, unfortunately. Now he has to run away from the Zealot for all time, and sure, a bunch of probes died for Deer, and that really sets him back in the long run. 3rd base well established for Jaedong in the meantime, because he's fantastic at controlling his army, and simultaneously microing these dudes on the other side of the map. Yes, he lost one of his lings. Look at that, 2 kills and 1 kill. 2 2 kills and 1 kill for Zerglings is pretty great, man. These guys cost 25 minerals. Like, what else do you want from 25 minerals worth of units? Huh? This dude right here. 2 kills is incredibly good for him. Alright, so Stargate here has been scattered a million times over by these Zerglings, which is why there's a Spire on the way, which is why it's just going to be some Scourge to deal with the opening Corsairs. Did these... Wait, what? Did he send more Lings across? Or did he try to come up here and then come down? I don't know what happened. How many kills do you have, Zealot guy? Just the 1. More Lings are here, though. They're not getting through this. There's a Zealot wall now. I don't know what happened to those other 2 Lings, but there's still a guy in here. And he's got 1 kill, and he really wants 2, and he's not going to get it, I don't think. I don't know. He's got speed. A couple more hits. And 1 more. No, didn't want to go up the ramp. Didn't want to challenge those cannons. Not at all. Corsairs in production. Scourge already in production. Jaedong will be just fine. Just ready for your Corsairs. Thank you very much for asking. I feel like the Corsairs are late because, again, the probe kills were too good here from these Zerglings. And the lost mining time added up to a ton, too. Citadel of Adun is done, but we don't have Zealot legs on the way yet. There we go. New Zealot comes down to handle that one. And yeah, man, slow Zealots versus Speedlings. Who knew? Oh, gosh. What? That Corsair pilot just saw his life flash before his eyes. 6 Scourge, you're like, noom. Just flying right on past him. Bye. This one's okay too, despite the fact that Scourge were waiting for him to come up over the Stargate. Oh, sniped him down. Aw, you had to be over the cannons more than that, my Corsair guy. That hurts. That just really hurts a lot. Took another Scourge hit up here too. 4th base on the way from Jaedong. Yarder, yarder, yarder. What's he working on, man? What's he going to try to do here today? More Scourge in production? He's preparing for a bit of a charge lot, or a speed lot onslaught here with some Sunkens, as he sees that Zealot count continuing to increase. Saw the Citadel of Adun follow up. Templar Archives coming in here too. You cannot wait for Storm, though. I think if you're Deer, you got to push out and try to take down that 3rd once Zealot legs are done, and they're almost done. Actually, air weapons level 1 being produced from Deer, which we see sometimes with Corsairs, makes them more effective in sniping down Scourge that are trying to kill them. Makes them better at killing Overlords too, which is generally what they're going to be into today. But yeah, Ling's coming back to defend something. We need to be defending something here. Where are you headed, Zealots? The answer is south. So Ling's come in to defend. Another Sunken going to be here shortly. They don't take that long to build. And a natural base attack, which I don't think we've seen in a while. Usually the Zealots go right for the 3rd, but I guess mixing it up sometimes is good if you're Protoss, especially if you're going against Jaedong. Don't be predictable if you're going against Jaedong. So yeah, Ling's holding. 2nd Sunken does pop now. And I really don't think Deer wants to go in there, but he does have to force Jaedong to make units at the very least. He has to posture to the point where Jaedong doesn't feel comfortable just spamming drones all the livelong day. He has a good number of Lings here. He really didn't make anything up to the north either, because he doesn't need to. This is the hallmark of an elite Zerg player, ladies and gentlemen. This is elite Zerg, is knowing exactly when you have to make units and knowing when you can skate by on not actually making units. I know it sounds weird, but that's exactly how it works. Scourge trying to find those Corsairs. 1 hit, but the speed is the same. And you'll never catch them if you're heading in the same direction. Turning introduces elements of slowdown. And also running directly into a Scourge head-on will kill you too. But despite all the Corsairs that have died, there are still 5. And there's another one on the way. Losing a couple Scourge carelessly to those cannons. You knew those cannons were there. And a 3rd base coming up. For Deer up on the left side at about the 9-minute mark, which seems a little bit late. But what else do you do? What else do you do? Well, I guess you go for a robotics facility. Is one thing. Also, you got to make sure that you get Storm. So Storm's in production here too. Yeah, I mean, Jaedong is really just happily on 4 bases. Anytime he can get on 4 bases, he's happy. I don't know about this. Like, you know your opponent's just really making a ton of Corsairs. So, I don't know. I suppose the Scourge can handle it to some extent. But this is a lot of Mutalisks, Jaedong. This is 11. 11 Mutas are here and ready to play. I don't feel good about this for Deer. Ooh, it's a lot more Scourge, too. Okay, so, at this point, Mutalisks are cruising across the map at Mach speed, trying to take down every one of the Corsairs. With the Scourge help, are there any cannons to help it? Kind of, there's one. There's one cannon. This looks so dangerous and so bad for deer. Alright, the Corsairs get some nice splash damage off on those Mutas, but a bunch of Corsairs go down, but everybody is severely bruised by that. Look at that. Okay, alright. That was not super well executed, I don't think, by Jaedong, surprisingly. But, yeah, enough Corsairs were here. The Scourge weren't able to wipe all of them out. Cannon, like hero of the day, took so much damage but is not dead. An additional cannon's coming up, and now there's no more element of surprise when it comes to these Mutalisks. That Zealot attack was just not going to happen. There's 3 Sunkens here and a bunch of Lings. It's not enough. It is not enough Zealots. I understand they have +1 attack and they're really good, but especially not with Mutas chasing. The Mutas are upset that their little attack did not go as well as they wanted it to. And they're taking out their rage on the Zealots down below, but Consume's on the way. Adrenal Gland's about to finish. Was that missile attack? That is increased range for Hydralisks coming in too. He loves his Hydra. Jaedong making 8 at a time right now. So he was going to go Hydralisk. Oh. Storm drop, storm drop. Storm drop up north. Took down a few drones here. And I would really unload because there's a lot of Scourge. And there we go. So 5 kills and 2 kills. Not bad. Not too shabby, but now you guys are dead because the Mutas came up and shut you right down. Deer trying to make a 4th base up top as not really going to happen for him all that well. Scourge, again, doing pretty good against these Corsairs, but not super amazing. The Mutas do have to get out of there. Enough Corsairs remain to make that a rough place to be if you are a Mutalisk. And you're not, probably, because you're watching this. I don't think Mutalisks watch my casts. I think they're more into PewDiePie. If you take a survey. Defiler on the way from Jaedong. Working on missile attack for his Hydralisks. Yeah, teal is a tough color to follow on this map because that teal really looks like the minerals from distance on the map. I don't know, man. Just in general, teal is a difficult color to follow for me. Mutas. Are they going to wait for that Nexus to finish and then try to finish it off? They don't want to cancel. And there it is. But the Corsair count, man. Still pretty good. Free shots on Mutalisks. And then the Archon needs to take a hard left right now. The Scourge adjust course accordingly too. Oh gosh, with the good storm. Really good storm. Mutas are down to 5. But are they killing everyone? Oh, another High Templar. Another High Templar goes down. There's only 1 remaining here now, with not enough energy for a storm. So the Mutas recognize their utility has just fallen off a cliff. There are too many Corsairs out. There aren't enough Scourge. He doesn't want to use money on Scourge. So he just dive bombed the Mutas in, took out as many Templar as he could, and there's only 1 remaining here. 1 remaining here for Deer. This is just, so Jaedong at his best, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta say, he's playing this exceptionally well. It all started with the early Lings. The 3 Lings getting into the main base is kind of snowballed from here. So Hydra's here to fight. Overlord does get sniped, not supply blocking Jaedong, but pretty close. Only 6 available supply for him. But he's expanding again, which will does provide some supply. And Hydra's in the middle of the map running a boot here. More and more Hydras. Look at this. Look at this Hydra count. It's kind of insane. That's why he sniped off those High Templar. It's because he knew he was going Hydra Ling here with Dark Swarm support. And the one thing that can shut that down is Storm. And if there isn't any Storm, and there's only an Archon here, and Reaver's in production. Okay, Reavers can actually do fairly well against this, but Deer definitely wants to use Storm, but he doesn't have the ability to do so. Because all his High Templar are dead, and he's not making any more. Is this another drop? This Reaver drop stuff? Yeah, Reaver drop stuff. Getting shut down. Bit of a drone pull there up north again. Hydra's trying to find these Corsairs and take them out of town because they're really annoying. I don't think that drop got a whole lot done. We'll keep an eye on it, though. All right, so here we go. Plague on all of them Zealots. Another fantastic plague on the Zealots. We're just going to move out. Oh, the pathing was bad. The Defilers get picked off. Oh, no. You don't want to lose those guys for nothing, do you? No, Jaedong did not want to lose those guys for nothing at all. But now the Zealots are much easier to handle because they are all plagued and down to, like, no HP at all. Sure, they have shields, which is nice. Did that shuttle just try to go back in and get sniped off by one of these Hydras? One of them's got a kill. No. Hey, look, there's some Storm. All right, so maybe coming up a ramp is not the greatest of ideas. That High Templar was thinking about throwing down a storm, but he doesn't have the energy to do so, so we'll give him a pass on that. Lurkers on the way. I don't know where they are. Ling's actually killing their own Sunken to allow units to get out. I don't know what that's all about. Oh, that one too. But yeah, Jaedong's up 165 to 150. All of his Sunkens got killed? What is that? I never need static defense here again. Thanks for asking. I guess maybe it's hard. I don't know. That's still a narrow choke to go through. I don't know what this gave him to kill all of those anyway. Yeah, more Reavers in production. I don't know where that shuttle went. Here's our one Reaver. It doesn't have the upgrade for additional damage at all. But I mean, the whole point here is that Jaedong has been sitting happily on a number of bases. He's not really been bothered except for the storm drops over this way. Corsairs are gone. And let the drop commence. Those Scourge obliterated. Obliterated the Corsairs. Here comes the Lurker drop with the Dark Swarm. Lurkers in, cannons utterly useless. Lings with adrenal glands on top of these cannons, also pretty good. Stargate gonna get sniped down, boys. And the responding army has to handle this because cannons are not gonna do it. Citadel of Adun is down. Robotic support bay would be a good thing to snipe if you can. As you want to go for the Nexus is the question. Maybe some of these probes might be pretty good as well. That Lurker, does he burrow inside the Dark Swarm? I don't actually know. We'll see if he takes any long-distance fire, if he actually gets injured or not. Zealots don't count as long-distance fire. Oh, he dead anyway. And yes, he's not actually in the Dark Swarm. And, okay, so the Dragoon count looks pretty nice. A Consume and another Dark Swarm would be really good here. But there's nothing to consume anymore, and the last thing to die is this Defiler. So pretty good attack from Jaedong. He's still up about 20 supply. He killed a bunch of probes. Killed a bunch of tech here, including the Stargate and the Citadel of Adun for deer. It eventually does get held. It doesn't lead to this entire base getting wiped out, which would be catastrophic. Losing all of his gateways means he's most certainly done today. But Jaedong at 17 minutes, 172 supply. Are you at 172 supply at 17 minutes in your ZVPs? If not, you have some ways to go. Another base coming up from Jaedong. What are we looking at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's an 8th base in 17 minutes. Jaedong has been so in control of this game. So utterly in control. Shuttles in production. High Templar here. Reavers here. They just need to be used in perfect tandem. Is this Reaver still doing stuff? Certainly is. God, I was looking for drops too. Goodbye, all the Zergling. Oh no, didn't get that shot off. I thought for sure he'd get that shot off. High Templar are going to unload and storm and then pick up. That'd be fun. I don't think he has the energy for it necessarily, though. Deer is still at 188 supply, you guys. Like, he's not super dead, which I'm finding utterly fascinating that he's not super dead here. Jaedong supply blocked at 198 supply. Pushing on in with his Dragoons. They got +3 attack, which is actually pretty darn scary. The Lings have 3 armor and +2 attack. Here comes, are we going to Plague or Dark Swarm this? Dark Swarm it? Yeah, there's the Dark Swarm for the Hydras. Storm inside the Dark Swarm, though. That is a big target that says, please storm me when you throw up Dark Swarm as Zerg. Plague catching some of these Zealots, and they're going to die. A single Dragoon has taken a Plague right to the face, too. Looks like he's been eating some peanut butter and jellies. And the army gets pushed back, and suddenly Deer's at 167 supply, which is not as good as 188, which is he was just a minute ago. Jaedong making so many Hydralisks. He's really pushing in for the kill while trying to drop in the main, which this shuttle is scouting, but I'm not sure we're paying attention to it. Let the storms commence, though. Nice Plague on all of them units. Is it enough? The Hydras. There are still some remaining, and that is bad. The drop inside the main base accomplishing a lot. Robotic support bay and Nexus definitely will go down. How many gateways will get sniped? I don't know. An attempt at a 5th base here from Deer is getting sniped by the Hydralisks, who do in fact have the +2 attack. Can they get it is the question. I don't know. How much are you dealing with the army inside your main base? That is a great question. Not at all, it would seem. Gateways going down. I really feel like Deer is prioritizing killing, saving his base, but no, that doesn't happen either. So he loses a ton of production facilities. He loses all income here. These High Templar come down here for some reason. I'm not sure what they're trying to do. They probably need to get out because the Hydras recognize they're here. They're dead. And in fact, that is what happens. Jaedong at 175 supply, just making Hydras as fast as he can. I feel like he's got this thing won. He's got the main base under control. There is no 5th base. He's sitting on 8 bases. He has many drones as he could ever need. He's not even fully saturated at some of his bases is how many he has. He's not even burrowing these lurkers right now. You could, I guess maybe he's waiting for the storm and then he moves out. Yeah, so Deer's responding here, but he's down about 50 supply to the greatest Zerg player in the history of StarCraft. And the lurkers burrow in, and they really don't do much, actually. So the lurkers all die. So Deer gets his pound of flesh there. He gets revenge on the units that came in and wiped out so much of his base. But as long as he can hold on to this, he might be okay. I'm trying to find reasons that Deer's going to win this game, and it's just really difficult for me. The Reaver shots are great. The storms are pretty good. The plague on the Reaver, yeah, he's down. And that's your good game. Deer has left the building, and Jaedong with his horde of Hydralisks and Defilers is your winner today in 20 minutes and 44 seconds. Woo! Okay, that was some dominance from Jaedong. I don't know the cast a game where he was just that dominant from start to finish. Never lost a base. Got dropped up here a couple times, lost some drones, but never lost a hatchery. Never really had a Protoss army on his front doorstep seriously threatening a base. He had this attack, right? This attack about 2 or 3 minutes ago. Came up this ramp. Got rebuffed before it really got within spitting distance of these hatches. And that's how you win. That's how you win a ZVP, is you don't let the Protoss army be on your front doorstep. They're really hard to dislodge at that point. You need to dislodge them before then. Again, I don't know. I don't know if I'm overstating how much getting those 3 lings into the main base of Deer in the first couple of minutes helped. But man, that was a ton of lost mining time. That was 2, 3, maybe even 4 probes getting sniped. Like the word of the cast today is snipe, by the way. But yeah, losing those probes just slows you down so much. And it's a game of snowballs is what it is. I know Tastosa talks about that a bit. Quite a bit when they are casting is the snowball nature of StarCraft. And sometimes getting that early win means you win the whole darn thing down the road. It really just allowed Jaedong to be pretty comfortable taking so many hatches. The Mutas did what they needed to do, I think. They sacrificed themselves and ended up not being super useful. The Scourge, more useful there versus the Corsairs. But yeah, Jaedong was allowed to make as many Hydras as he darn well pleased. He was able, again, to make these Defilers, which game changers, like every spellcaster is in StarCraft, and he got that win. The pressure was real, and Deer could not handle it. Again, his macro is good. I'm going to argue that his macro was really good. Like, that drop was crazy problematic for him in the main the first time it happened, but he was right back up to 180 supply just like that. So, could have made something happen there. Didn't, and that's fine. It's Jaedong, no shame in that, but next time, you got to do better. All right, that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.